All right, students, I'm back to show you how to verify this result using PlySmlt. So we've seen using PlySmlt to find roots. Now we're going to do the smlt part and use it to find the answer to simultaneous equations. So let's go into our calculator. And I'm going to go back to the home screen. PlySmlt is an app. So I'm going to go into apps. For me, I see it very easily. If you have a whole bunch of apps, do alpha and then the letter P to show you all the ones that you have that start with P, and go to PlySmlt2. Okay, this finds roots and it solves simultaneous equations. Press any key. I want to solve simultaneous equations, so I'm going to do number 2. All right, we have 2 equations. That's true. Let's come look at our equations. 2 equations, we have 2 unknowns, x's and y's. We can have our answers as fractions or decimals. It's always nice to have the exact answer of fractions. The rest of these, I don't care about. You're always going to be in degrees, but right now the rest of this is okay. So next, of course, it's not a touch screen, so I've got to come over here and click graph for next. All right, so now my system matrix. This is saying that I have to have my equations with the x's first, and then the y's, and then the constants. So let's rearrange this, that I have the x's first. So now I'm going to rearrange so that x's and y's are on the same side with x's first. So this time, our second equation is already in that form, and our first equation needs to be put into that form. So I'm going to take that first equation and I'm going to add 3/4 x to both sides. So 3/4 x plus y. When I add 3/4 x, negative 3/4 x plus 3/4 x makes 0. So there's my first equation. Here's my second equation. So coming back to my calculator is only looking for the numbers, not the x's and y's. So my first number is 3/4. So 3 divided by 4. My second number, I'm going to push enter. My second number is the number that's in front of y. Well, there's an imaginary 1 in front of the y. My last number is the number on the right of the equal sign. That's why it has this line here. That line's like the equal sign, and it is 0. So I'm going to hit enter. Now my first coefficient in the second equation, that's the 2. I'm going to push enter. My next coefficient is a negative 1. Enter. My last coefficient, my last number on the right of the equal sign is 9. Okay, so I've got all my coefficients. I'm going to pull this screen over for you. And now I'm going to say solve. So here's my 2 answers. It doesn't really look like what we had over here. This bottom bit says f to d, that's fraction to decimal. And if I go from my fraction to my decimal, I get the exact same answers. So let's show both of those. So here's our ones that match. And now I can come back to decimal version, which is my exact answers, and there's my exact match. So that's using PlySmlt. As always, please come see me if you have questions, and please practice using your calculator.